Welcome to July 4th, Independence Day Sports Tonight. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman. Brett,
What's up?
hey. This is a special day to join in for Sports Tonight, man. I mean, July the 4th, a lot of people are just sitting around chilling, waiting for the fireworks. They're probably watching us.
Well, I was going to say, I was hoping to have a belly full of barbecue and mac and cheese and everything. They were bringing us. They were bringing in a nice barbecue meal for us. It was supposed to be here at 6. Conveniently, they forgot the meat, so we had to wait, and I think the meat just showed up.
The meat, man.
So now we got to wait till we get done talking about all this to get over there and get into some barbecue. So we'll make it quick, and then I'm going to go have a great 4th of July over there eating some barbecue, mac and cheese, and they have some brownies. So
anytime you're talking about the 4th of July, right, you got to remember that's the Joey Chestnut's day, man, 4th of July.
That's his Super Bowl.
That's his Super Bowl all year round, and so once again, no one can take him down.
Did you watch it?
I watched it a little bit after. So
yeah,
I didn't
you didn't watch it live?
No, I didn't watch it live. Like the whole newsroom was around it.
I'm a little upset about that one as well because yesterday I said that is one of the greatest American traditions in sports, greatest holiday traditions, is the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest. And I got nothing but grossed out looks and judgment from the rest of this room telling me, that's disgusting, it's so gross, how do you watch that? It is pageantry that is nearly unparalleled. College football might be the only thing that comes close. I'm not kidding. That comes close in pageantry that they do over there on Coney Island. The guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy that wears the little hat and the red and white pinstripe suit does an incredible job of emceeing that event. He stands up there with the mic. He gets up on the platform and he announces every contestant coming into the ring. He gives them an incredible introduction. It's amazing. That's my favorite part is that announcer guy. He gets you so hyped up just to watch these guys eat hot dogs, but it is so fun. I loved it. And it was rain delay this year. So I was on my way to work when it happened. So I didn't get to watch it. But I went back and watched the intro, and it was still awesome.
That's crazy for a hot dog eating contest to be rain delayed, right? Like you can't eat hot dogs in the rain. But whatever. But anyway, though, so I was really looking at it, right? So Joey Chestnut ate 62 hot dogs, once again, in case you don't know, to win the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Mm-hmm. It's his 16th, what do they call it, mustard trophy, a mustard title or something?
Yeah.
So he's won it for the 16th time. So it really gets me to start thinking when I see just how dominant he's been in this hot dog eating contest, winning 16 out of the last 17. So I have to ask myself, is Joey Chestnut the most dominant athlete, maybe, I don't know about ever, but in the last 50 years? I mean, as far as an athlete dominating his particular sport, which this is a sport, is Joey Chestnut at the very top of the most dominant athletes in the last 40 or 50 years?
I really think he might be. I don't know. There's probably some other strange fringe sports that we're not really thinking of. But I mean, when you think of the big four, obviously, you got Brady in the NFL. Alan's behind you, tempting us with his what is that, mac and cheese? Yeah, what is that?
The newsroom, right?
Is it good?
Oh, it's delicious.
And we just want
letting y'all know y'all are done.
See?
Thank you. Yeah.
We're just watching everybody else eat.
We gotta wait another. We gotta wait another 24 minutes. Do you want to down it like Joey Chestnut?
Look at this.
That lighting's great.
That plate, man.
I don't know if y'all can hear him.
When you're done with your sports, it will be back there for you.
Well, save some for me. Make sure there's a brownie left.
Somebody put us a plate aside.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Joey Chestnut dominating? Yeah, so I don't think so. I mean, Brady's probably the only thing close in the big four sports of just dominating his sport for a period of time. Yeah. But even he gets 7 rings? That pales in comparison to 16.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe Floyd Mayweather, guys like that. I mean, there's very few people who just just synonymous, right? So I mean, Tom Brady's one of the best players in football, and LeBron James and Steph Curry in basketball. This guy's name is just synonymous with winning this contest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know any of the other competitors. I think before him, I remember Kobayashi, and I remember he would win the contest.
Is that the guy that always wears the Red Sox hat?
Is that Kobayashi was years ago. Kobayashi was before Joey Chestnut started winning. So,
okay. See, I don't know who he is. I know Chestnut, though.
That's how long ago it was. I mean, this was maybe for 3 or 4 years, and then Joey Chestnut upset him, And then it was over. I mean, from
Yeah.
that point forward, Joey Chestnut has absolutely dominated the competition. And I was looking through, like, some of these other competitors and stuff. Like, these guys, it's not just about this competition. These guys are in these contests all year round. I mean, I was just sort of reading stuff that some of these guys eat throughout the year.
Yeah,
And I was
I'm looking at it right
It
now.
was stuff like guys eating 5-pound birthday cakes in 9 minutes and eating. Seriously, I was on the phone with my buddy and I was just going through a rundown of some of the eating contests that these guys are in outside of the 4th of July. I mean, obviously everybody knows about the hot dogs,
Right.
and that's always big news. But just throughout the year, these guys train their bodies, and these aren't really like, obese 400-pound guys. I mean, Joey Chestnut, he's like 6 foot 229. I mean, he's a pretty in shape
Fairly
dude,
normal looking dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fairly normal looking dude, and he can down 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I mean, that's just crazy to be able to train your body to do that.
I'm looking at some of his other records now. You were mentioning, some of their other feats.
It was crazy.
He's done 182 chicken wings in 30 minutes. He's done 45 pulled pork sandwiches in 10 minutes. That one almost sounds harder than the hot
I'd be
dogs to me.
dead.
Like you choke on that. That's not designed to go down your throat easy, 53 soft beef tacos from Taco Bell in 10 minutes. I feel like I could do that one. 103 Crystal Burgers in 8 minutes. I mean, I could go on. This list just scrolls and scrolls and scrolls, but this dude's, he's not human. That is unbelievable how a human does that to their body and continues to do it year after year.
I think the guy who finished second, I was looking at some of his stuff, like he's also in other contests too. I think he was maybe the guy who you were talking about. One of his contests earlier this year, the guy ate like 113 pancakes in a pancake eating contest in like 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm like, I couldn't eat 3.
Yeah. No, seriously, I've had 3 pancakes before, and it's like you feel like you're about to pop. That's unbelievable. They're not human. That's another level entirely. I could talk about this all day, but we got to move on just for sake of
all
time,
good.
and so we can go eat.
Exactly.
Scott, you were telling me more about this one because you're Mr. NBA.
I try to be.
The rumors have been that Damian Lillard, we know he requested a trade from Portland. Thank you.
Yeah.
And all the rumors were, okay, well, he's going to Miami. He's going to the Heat. He's going to team up with Butler. But now there's rumors that that trade's not going over so well, that the Heat are not giving Portland enough to make it worth their while.
Right. So Damian Lillard, a few days ago requested a trade. And he also requested a trade to the Miami Heat. That was the number 1 team that he wanted to go to because I guess he feels like, they were just in the finals and he'd be maybe their missing piece to winning an NBA championship.
I think you might be right,
that was
too.
the first team that he gave them and said, this is where I want to go. The Portland Trail Blazers management accepted his request and said that they would do their best to do right by him. And so they are exploring trade options for many different teams, but just quite frankly, and I think this doesn't even take too much of an insider to really see, the Miami Heat does, from a resource standpoint, Portland in this whole deal, they made it clear what they were looking for. They're looking for a really strong, starting level player, maybe an all-star level player, maybe a good young talent,
Tyler
and
Hero?
then a dump truck full of draft picks, 4 or 5 first-round picks. And those are assets, when you really look at it, that the Miami Heat really don't have. I mean, they've been offering Tyler Hero. He seems to be the popular name.
Right.
That's kind of coming up in a lot of these trade talks. From what I've seen, from what I've read, the Portland Trail Blazers have no interest in Tyler Hero. So I think when you start looking at that, it gets kind of murky because obviously the 2 most tradable pieces on the Miami Heat, which are Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, are 2 guys who you would want to pair Damian Lillard with. So right now, I think they're probably going to be looking for a 3rd team to be able to pull this trade off. But it's one thing I've seen for certain when it comes to these trade demands, when a superstar player like Damian Lillard demands a trade, is 9 times out of 10, that star, if they want to get to someplace bad enough, they're going to find a way because they have so much power.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA is not like the NFL. Like you said, players have a lot more power.
Yes.
And they got a lot of time to make this deal happen. They're not, getting close to this preseason or regular season or anything like that. They're going to have a while to find that 3rd team, probably talk to multiple different potential 3rd teams and find a deal that works. I'm so confident that once the next season rolls around that Dame is going to be down there in Miami, part of the new Big 3. It's just going to be a question of who's that third team that makes this happen, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to maneuver a third team just to get Portland some more assets because they feel like Miami don't have enough. So it's probably going to cost Miami draft picks probably for like the next 10 years or so, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Who cares, right? When you're going forward, when you feel like you're a piece away from winning an NBA championship right now, when your stars they're not getting any younger. Jimmy Butler's like 33 years old or something like that. So once they start getting a little bit older, I guess he'll be 34 next year.
Let's go for it,
Your
Tom.
moment is right now. Your time to win is right now. So I don't think Pat Riley, who's about 80 years old, I don't think he's thinking about what the team is going to look like in 10 years, right?
Right.
You know? So I think right now in this moment, Miami Heat is going to exhaust every resource possible to make sure Damian Lillard is playing in South Beach next season.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's just going to be what's it take. Moving on to our third topic of the night. And, you know, NFL is still a little bit away now. 4th of July feels like kind of the turning of the corner. Like, okay, now we're close. We're
Getting
like
close, man.
60 days away, I think, somewhere around there.
Training camp is pretty much at the end of this month for a lot of teams.
So like
some teams
I'm
reporting a few weeks like they're rookies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we are days away from getting, you know, constant highlights and updates, even injury news, unfortunately, probably, from the NFL. So, like, it's basically here. And with that, ESPN put out a list ranking rosters from top to bottom in the NFL, and the Falcons came in on this list at number 26. So 26 out of 32 teams. I mean, I don't think any of us expected the Falcons to be, you know, near the top. But do you think they're too low? Do you think ESPN got it right? What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of what people have been excited about the Falcons roster is potential, right?
Yes.
More than production. I think the list is more so going on production, what guys have already done in the NFL, and I guess when guys have already been successful, it's a great, it's a little bit easier to feel what they're going to do. I think with this Falcons team, a lot of what they have right now on paper is based on potential. I mean, that's on both sides of the balls, right? So as far as tried, true, trusted, dependable players, they don't have a lot of those, right? And especially at the quarterback position. They have a lot of guys who still have to prove themselves. Even some of their younger talent, when you look at Drake London, when you look at Kyle Pitts at tight end, when you look at Bijan Robinson, those guys have a load of potential because they were drafted high, and we think they're going to be good players one day because they were drafted high. And from what we've seen, they, you know, in their limited action, we've seen a lot of bright spots. But truth is, you know, as far as they don't have a lot of proven talent. So I think, you know, for me, it's not a surprise. Or some of the guys who they even acquired in the offseason, like Calais Campbell, those guys are kind of seen as being a little bit over the hill, but Dupree as well, too. So I think that when you're just looking at their roster from top to bottom, yeah, it's really easy to see how they'd be in the lower third of those rankings.
Yeah, I agree basically with you. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen it from a lot of these guys, especially at the quarterback position, which I know it's a full roster ranking, but the quarterback, when you're like weighing how good is a roster, is, I mean, close to 50%, right? I mean, none of the other pieces matter if you have a bad quarterback. And I'm not saying Desmond Ridder is a bad quarterback. I'm saying we don't know what Desmond Ridder is right now. He certainly hasn't looked like a great quarterback yet. I think most people would say probably leaning towards like not going to work out, but we still got to see. You know, that's why they go out there. That's why they play the game. I mean, we thought the same thing about Josh Allen 2 years in when he had that horrendous performance against the Texans in the playoffs, and now look at him. So anything can happen. But yeah, I agree. And I don't think this is something that Falcons fans should really be upset about, because like we said, this is based on past production, not really what the potential is. So there's still every bit the possibility that, you know, end of the year, when we see this list next year, the Falcons are, you know, 16 or higher. And some other good news, Saints, Panthers, and Bucks are all also very low on this list because all of their rosters also looking pretty beaten up. So the NFC South is still wide open, even if ESPN says your roster is 26th best in the NFL. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it.
No, I mean, and like you said, I mean, a lot of things have to play out, right? I mean, I think a lot of what we see on the Falcons roster is a lot of younger players that, like I say, that we think are going to be good, but you never know until you actually see it on the field. And not to mention, too, those rankings will be higher in coming years if, like you said, if Desmond Ridder proves himself to be a capable quarterback. Because if Desmond Ridder is doing the job that he's supposed to do, that means Drake London's numbers are going to go up. That means Kyle Pitts' numbers are going to go up. That means Bijan Robinson is going to have a good season because it means the quarterback is doing what he's supposed to do. So so much. We've talked about it a million times, and I think it can't be emphasized enough. So much of what the Falcons are going to be in 2023 is on the shoulders of Desmond Ridder, because if he ends up proving to be at least a capable NFL-level quarterback, then I think that's going to allow all those weapons around him to flourish. And even if they're putting up points, that's even going to make the defense look better. So.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about this before I move on, when you look at the Falcons roster from top to bottom, other than your Kyle Pitts, your Bijan Robinson, your Drake London, there's not a lot of sexy names that jump out at you. There's not a lot of superstars on this roster, but the Falcons added a lot of pieces in the offseason that still don't have that star power, but are big upgrades. Your Bud Dupree's, even guys like Calais Campbell that are going to come in and be able to provide a real veteran presence on this team.
Jeff Okudah.
Seriously. So lots of little upgrades like that maybe don't move the needle a ton from the eye appeal, just looking at the roster being like, oh, they have this guy and this guy and this guy. But as far as the actual production from the roster, I think are going to make some pretty big incremental improvements.
Yeah, in player development too. I mean, there are guys who they draft high, like Eddie Kebby out there as a pass rusher who's second-round pick last year. So if some of these guys
they're
get to the quarterback,
they're deep at edge. I mean, they're looking pretty good at edge right now.
Right. So I mean, I think people want to see those improvements and be able to get to the quarterback more, cite the quarterback. If those things happen, then I guarantee you this time next year, that number will be a lot higher.
Yeah. Speaking of high numbers, Ronald Acuna just became the first player in MLB history with 20 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and 50 RBIs before the All-Star break. And by the way, he's still got, it's Tuesday. Their last game's Sunday, so he's still got 4 or 5 games to pump those numbers up a little bit.
Hey, pump those brakes, man. They're playing my Guardians, man.
I think he's going to be just fine against the Guardians. And they're playing the Rays after that, and I still think he's going to be fine against the Rays. This dude is unreal. I mean, he's – actually, I want to look up his MVP odds right now.
It's kind of crazy. The year the Braves won the World Series, he was out, right? I mean, he wasn't even a part of it.
That was the year he tore his ACL.
Right. He was out. So just imagine the next level this team can be on if he's there with them come playoff time. If they already have 8 All-Stars on his roster. So he's an MVP candidate. He could very well be the MVP at this point in the season so far.
He's the favorite right now. That's what I was looking up. He's minus 360 in most books. If you're not a bettor, that means you'd have to bet $360 just to win $100.
Wow.
That's how big of a favorite he is right now. Freddie Freeman is second in MVP odds, and it is a big, big gap. So unless Acuna, God forbid, knock on wood, knock on everything around you, has some other injury down the stretch, I don't see a way that he doesn't win NL MVP this year at his pace. I mean, he is just putting up stupid video games numbers.
I mean, he's got to keep it going, right? I mean, obviously it's the first half of the season, so he's got to keep it going.
Yeah, but even if he's down the stretch, he'll still probably finish head and shoulders above anyone else in the NL.
Look, I mean, I hope that, right now for what this team needs, 2 years ago, if they could basically win the World Series without him being there, imagine just with him playing how he's playing right now, imagine just how good this team can be come playoff time. I mean, it just feels like right now it's probably going to come down to them and the Dodgers, right? I mean, how fun would that be?
There's some other teams in the NL. The Reds look really good right now. The Diamondbacks have looked good. But, I mean, there's no one close to the Braves level. The Dodgers, honestly, I don't think are as big of a threat as they have been in past years. Honestly, in the NL, there's no one close to the Braves right now. There's just not.
How fun would that be, though? Like Freddie Freeman having to play here. I mean, just imagine.
Oh, it would be fun,
If the Dodgers are able to come in here and playoff series, Freddie Freeman playing. I want the Dodgers to just be good because of that, because just as a fan of the game, I think that would be such a storyline,
Yeah, no, it would be a great storyline. I pulled up Acuna's baseball savant page here, which, if you're not a big baseball fan, this is some of the advanced analytics behind
Baseball savant.
The player. Yeah, dude, I love this site. It'll show you what's their percentile ranking on their average exit velocity off the bat, their strikeout percentage, their barrel percentage. How often are they, getting the barrel to the ball, getting that good contact? Acuna is nothing but red bubbles up and down this page, bright red bubbles. He is 99th or 100th percentile in every dang rating. This guy is unreal. He's doing it better than anyone, and he's getting better as the year goes on. It's the crazy thing. Like when you look at his chart right here, he's literally, it's ticking up. Like he's not slowing down. He's speeding up. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's an unreal talent, right? I mean, just to be able to have a talent like that, there's no wonder why the Braves locked him up pretty early, right? I mean, that's one thing this organization is so good about. They locked up him for many years. They locked up Michael Harris for many years. I mean, their young talent is under their control for a lot of years out. So this ain't stopping no time soon, right? I mean, this team is going to be one of the best teams in baseball for the next 5 years.
Yeah, me and Lee were going over it last night. When you look at their lineup 1 through 9, there's not a soft spot. Not only is there not a soft spot, there's not even like an average spot. You got 6 or 7 all-stars in that lineup. The 2 or 3 guys that aren't all-stars are batting, 260 plus with OPSs in the 800s. And then, by the way, you still got d'Arnaud on the bench, who, if he was starting every day, would probably have 20-plus home runs. His OPS is in the 800s. I mean, they get production from every spot in the lineup and from the bench. Oh, by the way, their rotation is also great because they brought up all these young guys who have had to fill in through injuries this year. And all of a sudden, some of them, like Bryce Elder, are going to the All-Star game. Right. So it's I don't know what else to say. I keep saying unbelievable, but it's unbelievable the production that this team has managed to get from every single position. It's great. It's great player development. It's great scouting. I mean, it's just one of the best run organizations in all of professional sports right now.
And have been for about almost 30 years. I mean,
but I mean, they've really ticked it up since like the last 5 years or so, since this core of young guys has come in. They're really cranking at another level.
Yeah, and once again, I love what they do as far as getting their great young players, able to get them under contract, right? Because a guy like Michael Harris could have sat back and said, you know what, I'm going to let this ride out for the next 5 years, and I'm going to cash out after those years. No, he re-signed long term. Acuna a few years ago, they gave him, their vision is so good, with some of their younger players. They have such confidence in their ability to develop these guys that they don't mind keeping them under a deal for some years, signing them maybe a little bit earlier than maybe what they should. But it's just, they're such visionaries to be able to just see out ahead, and they're going to be rewarded for it. Because like I said, these guys are going to be together for a long time. So, yeah, I don't see this stopping anytime soon.
No, and the genius thing about that strategy, too, is they've done it so well. How that strategy could bite you is you sign a guy to a long-term contract, and all of a sudden he falls off. He's not near what you thought he's going to be, and now you're attached to this, like, average or below-average player for the next 6 or 7 years for more money than he's worth.
Are you talking about Fernando Tatis? No, I'm joking.
No, Tatis is going to be just fine. But the reason I say that is even if that happens to whoever, say – at the end of this year, they signed Bryce Elder to 6-7 years, pretty good money, and then he just is never good again. Who cares? Because the strategy has already gotten you Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris, Kyle. Like
your core for the next.
Yeah. So well, you struck out on one. You're still batting 800, 900 on the rest. So who cares? Like at this point, you're playing with house money.
And you're selling out that stadium every night, so it's all good.
yeah. Like you're not hurting for money over there.
And on the road too. Last night I checked some of the game out because they're playing in Cleveland, which is obviously where I'm from. And look, believe me when I tell you, the Guardians. Their attendance is always towards the bottom every single year, right? I mean, they just don't. It's not really a baseball town. People don't really come out and see the team. Last night it was jam-packed in there. It was packed. So that just goes to show you the power of the Braves, even on the road, because they're hitting the road in a place that normally doesn't get that many people in a stadium. And it was packed last night to watch them play. So I think that shows that when they come to town, everyone knows this is the real deal.
Yeah. I could talk about the Braves forever, but I really want to eat. So, Scott, I will quickly ask you, what is on your mind?
Ribs and macaroni and cheese.
That's what's on my mind, too.
That's behind me. So
all right. Well, then do we wrap it up? I was going to say, do we wrap it up a few minutes early and go stuff our faces?
Go ahead and wrap it up, man.
Let's
it's the
do
4th
it.
of July. People are getting ready to head out to go see fireworks anyway. So, you know what, Brett, it's been fun, man. We got some good topics in today. We will be back at it tomorrow on Sports Tonight. We'll have a fun with a lot of other topics. Alan, here we go, man. I'm on my way.
For Alan and Scott, we'll see. Oh wait, real quick. You're making it take longer. I'm hungry. Go on.
I have some really bad news, guys.
It's all gone.
It's all gone.
There's no more meat in the back of the newsroom.
Yeah, you're lying. All right, we'll see you.